Hello there and welcome back to the channel. Today we are in a pretty beautiful place, I must admit. I've never been here before, it's the first time ever. But we're in the Northumberland National Park and today's goal is to climb the highest peak, which is called the Cheviot. Now what's strange about the Cheviot is normally when you think of England you don't think about volcanoes, do you? Well, believe it or not, there were volcanoes and the Cheviot was one of them. So we're gonna head up, we're gonna see if this thing is still just extinct or whether we can get it going again. So let's go. Well, if you're a lover of nature and all things wild, this is a great one. You know, so far I must have seen about 20, bunnies and hares. I've seen a squirrel. Lots of nice little surprises along the way. This little beck or river, it's called Hot Hope Burn, I think. It's really cool. Just running up the middle of the valley. And that's really where we're sort of following, really, that little beck. And then at some point it should get a bit steep, but at the minute it's just nice and chilled, nice and relaxed. Just slow, gentle incline, and I quite like it. But no, it's quite a nice walk so far. I would recommend it. So this walk today is 8.5 miles. So it's not a short walk, and it's not a long walk either. Sort of one of those nice in the middle ones. And from what I've walked so far, the going doesn't get too tough. It's quite a nice path, and you've just got so much to look at. You've got the hills, you've got the fern, you've got all the wildlife, and then of course you've got this thing here. Where are we there? That's the Cheviot. And that should be good fun, that. Just to say that I've stood on I've probably stood on volcanoes before without even knowing it. I think Ben Lomond was a volcano actually, but it's just cool to see you stood on an extinct volcano. It's not normal, is it? So like I say, we're heading on and we're going to take in this lovely scenery. You know, with all this scenery, I'm half expecting to see a pterodactyl. It's so untouched, this, it's unbelievable. All you've got is this one path, but there's nothing around you that would indicate life around you. Obviously wildlife, but I mean, you know, you're probably only a few miles away from the nearest, you know, town or whatever, but this is just absolutely incredible. You know, I'm just looking around and I'm just like, this is nice, this is cool, this is very Jurassic. And then obviously what adds to it is I'm walking next to an extinct volcano, so at one time, you know, there would have been lava spewing out of that. These things are in your back garden, you know what I mean? This is just crazy. I'm absolutely loving it. I mean, it's not been steep at all yet. I'm sure it will get steep at some point, but I've literally just been following this little beck. Yeah, found that waterfall. Had to get the camera out for that because that was a nice waterfall. That it was only small, but it was different. It was interesting. So anyway, I'm wittering again. Let's crack on a bit more and see what else we can glean out of this valley. So this terrain is actually reminding me quite a lot of the Peak District. It is boggy in parts, but solid in others. So you literally have to jump over the boggy parts, but it's not very difficult to get over them. And you're constantly crossing little streams on this path. It's pretty cool. I like it. But yeah, just very reminiscent of what Kinder Scout's like. If you've ever been there, it's a lovely mount. Well, say it's a lovely hill, highest one in the Peak District, and it's actually my first video I ever did on YouTube is Kinder Scout. But this is really quite nice. Since leaving the van, I've not come across another person. I've not gone past one other person, and you find this with a lot of the Northern Pennines, that you don't really come across anyone, because it's not like, oh, it's the Lake District, oh, it's Snowdonia, oh, it's the Highlands, oh, it's Peak, you know, Peak District or whatever. It's very much an underrated place, I would probably say, from what I've seen so far. You know, it's pretty good. You can tell that people do come here, but you know, it's not busy, and we're on a Sunday morning right now, so we're probably around just under halfway. Now I think we're going to get up to a ridge now, I think. So we're leaving this little valley and we're going to head up to the ridge now. But I've enjoyed this little part of the walk. I say little, you know, it's probably a few miles. But yeah, it's been nice. Frank's enjoyed it, crossing the rivers. He hates water until he gets in the water, and then he just wants to be in the water. Dogs. Right, let's go. You okay, Frank? Frank? Oh, yeah. Right, so we're at the top of Cairn Hill now, and now it's just a little bit of a walk across to the top of the Cheviot. Frank, what are you doing? Dogs. So this is Cairn Hill, and this cairn here, this shelter, is what's known as Scotsman's Cairn. So we are close to the border, so whether this is where they sheltered before they attacked the English, who knows. But it's It's actually a very big shelter cairn, this. Very useful. As you can probably hear, it's keeping that wind out nicely. And, are you back, Frank? Yeah, it's pretty good. If I had lunch, I'd have lunch here. But I've left all my stuff at the van because, well, I thought I may as well have a hot meal when I get back. So, I'm going to head off now, go over to the Cheviot, where we should be going on to Pennine Way. And this is obviously towards the end of Pennine Way. It just jots over the border into Scotland and it finishes just across the border, Pennine Way. But I've done the start of the Pennine Way and this is near the end, so it'll be quite interesting to see how good the path still is. Looking over at the Cheviot, it looks pretty good. So no more bogs, I don't think, until obviously we come back down. But it's been nice so far. I've quite enjoyed it. So let's get out of this shelter and let's get going again. Trig. Now, as you can see, this is the highest trig from the ground that I've ever come across. But we're at the top now, the Cheviot, so that means one thing and one thing only. It's time to show you some incredible views, although you're not really going to see any because it's a flat plateau. And you can see the North Sea. I can, you probably won't. The views up and down are better apparently. So when I've read up on this, yeah, but a lot of people say there's not really much in the way of views at the top of the Cheviot, but coming up and going down, you know, it opens up quite a bit more. So I'm banking on that. I'll give you a 360 anyway, just so you can see what I mean. But this is, it's been a nice walk. I've really enjoyed coming up through that valley. That was quite an interesting part of the journey. Who knows what's beyond me going down this way. So, we'll see anyway. Anyway, 360 views, sort of. So another little fun fact for you, the Cheviot was a stratovolcano. If I get that wrong, sorry, I'm not a volcanologist, but I'm pretty sure it's a stratovolcano. So that means something. It does, honestly. I don't know if that means it's a sort of a volcano that spews the lava out the top rather than creates lava flows and, you know, it's a big caldera or whatever. So that's just some Wikipedia stuff, you know. You see things on Wikipedia and you think, okay, I want to believe it, but I know idiots can write whatever they want on this. So stratovolcano, that's what it was. So I'm within sight now of the car park and less than a mile away. So I think it's a good time really to finish the video. But it's been a nice one, I quite enjoyed it. I'll have to come back to Northumberland because, I don't know, it's quite a nice place. It's one of those ideal places to go for a quiet hike. I saw quite a few people, to be fair, coming down off the Cheviot, but I think this is like the main path up. I would recommend going through the valley, definitely, because that was quite nice. That was probably my highlight of the walk. But definitely have to come back, definitely have to come back. So, if you like the video, of course, like it. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you for sticking this far into the video. So, I mean, if you have stuck this far and you're not subscribed, well, what are you doing here? I must be doing something right. So, I'll see you guys on the next video, wherever that may be. Could be Scotland, could be the lakes, could be anywhere in the north of England or Scotland. So, I'll see you guys later.